Hello, Mott Community College criminal justice students. My name is Allison Swanson, and I am the local sales representative for Mott Community College. I'm based in Detroit, but I do most of Eastern Michigan all the way up through Saginaw. Today, I'm going to show you three things. I'm going to show you how to register into Connect to do your SmartBook assignments. I'm also going to show you a little bit about the SmartBook inside of Connect and how you can use that as a great study tool and also a perfect way to read and practice every piece of content for your course. And then the third thing I'm going to talk to you about is what to do if you have technical issues with Connect or any issues at all. So the first thing we will get started with is registering for your course. By now, Professor Baber has probably emailed you a link that you can click on to get started. So I actually have that link. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it into my browser, and it's best to use Google Chrome here. Google Chrome is the best browser. And you'll know you get to the right place because you'll see your professor right here, and you'll also see the textbook, Introduction to Criminal Justice, boom. So instead of doing anything over here, I would just ignore this. Even if you have used Connect in some of your other classes before, you need to register into this course. So click Register Now. From here, it's just going to ask you your email address. Feel free to use your Mott Community College email address, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever you're going to remember, you can use that. So I'm just going to make one up. Allison@criminaljustice.com. Now, if you've used Connect in the past, it's going to recognize you at this point, and it won't make you register in this next page, but it will bring you to this page to actually plug in your registration code. So if you have already purchased your textbook at the bookstore, the code is going to come inside of that book. It looks like a scratch-off lottery ticket. It's either in the front or in the back of your text. So that's what you're going to use to actually plug in here and then submit, and then that shows that you've paid. Or you can go all digital and just buy directly from us. Or if you're waiting for money for financial aid, maybe you're just waiting for your paycheck to come through and you haven't purchased your materials yet, you can click Courtesy Access, and this is a 2-week free trial that just is there so that way you don't get behind while you're waiting for some money to pay for this. So either way you should be able to get in today no matter what. If you have financial aid, you have to go through the bookstore just because we don't have a way to directly take your financial aid because that's tied with the institution. So either registration code from your book, buy from us with a credit card, or try before buying. Today I'm going to start Courtesy Access and I'm going to try before buying. This one just says, are you sure you want to sign up for 2 weeks? Yes. And here, this is where I'm just going to register for the first time. So I've never used Connect before, so it's going to make me fill this out, making an email, a password, all that good stuff. If you have used Connect in the past, maybe for your English course, or I believe we use it for math here, you will not need to do this. It will skip this part and it will remember you. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Select a security question, Flint. And make sure you click Accept at this very end and then click Complete My Registration. And just like that, I am in my course and I am ready to start doing my homework. Sometimes messages pop up here, and these just are sometimes just little messages about Connect. But I see right now I already have an assignment and it's due on the 25th, and I believe this is a true time and a true due date for all of you to do your SmartBook assignment. So you're going to see as you go through this semester with Professor Baber that all the chapters are going to appear as you should be doing them. If at any point you want to go back and study, you should be able to go back and do that. But I'm going to show you what this looks like. This type of assignment with the LS icon is actually called SmartBook. And it's an adaptive way for you to read and study the assignment and get points for it. So I'm going to show you how that works today. And just bear with it while it loads. It's a lot of content that it's loading because it's a full integrated adaptive ebook. And it's normal for this to just take a few minutes to load each time you get in. The cool thing about SmartBook is you'll never be lost because this very first page gives you exactly the kind of run through I'm going to give you. So if at any point you ever go, I can't remember how this works, click on any of these buttons here and it's going to tell you the answer for what you want to know. But just to start your assignment, obviously just click start. It's going to ask you for your alias. And I'm just going to keep it as Allison Student. This very first page here, it gives me a couple different, if I go to the preview stage. Oh. Okay, so I forgot she was going to talk to us. The first page just tells me what my progress was, but then it takes me exactly into the book and how it's going to start. This coach will pop up, and she's never going to leave you high and dry. She tells you about SmartBook and how to work in every process of this. If you want to turn her off or just turn it to subtitles, you can click on the subtitles here. Or if you just want to get rid of her, just exit out of her. I'm going to do that today. I forgot that she pops up. So SmartBook is phased up in 4 different phases. It's preview, read, practice, and recharge. In the preview phase, that's what you're always going to open up into. It just gives you sort of an outline of what you're about to encounter inside the chapter. There's nothing to do here for points. It's just a nice way for you to kind of get a scaffolding about what you're going to do. The next phase is read. Now you'll notice in this read phase, I'm going to turn her off. You'll notice in this read phase, you can do a couple different things. If you go to this corner here, you can actually make it a spread so you can see more of the content on each page. You can also go and see that there are highlights already in this text for you. So this is an exact replica of what you would get in a regular book, except it's already highlighted for you. And the highlights come from actually the authors. They said, we're highlighting the most important part in each piece of the chapter for students to really get the basic baseline understanding of what they're probably going to be quizzed on or tested on later on. So an average student might just read these highlights. If you want, you can click on these things that are dimmed out and you can read any of those at any point. But as you work through this, let's just say you're going to do the bare minimum and you're just going to read the highlights. That's why they're there. Those highlights are there for you to focus on the most relevant information to you at this time. So let's say you've read through this chapter and you're ready to prove that you've read it. You have to do some proving in SmartBook. It's called practice. And she's going to pop up and tell you that again. But the practice phase really is just to prove that you've read. And this is not going to penalize you. You only get progress here. So as you move through and you answer these correctly, you're going to gain progress. And you'll see this progress bar up here at the top. You want this to be at 100% by the due date and time to get your full points for each chapter. These questions can come to you in a variety of ways. They can come to you in multiple choice, fill in the blank, pick between 2, true, false. But the idea is that you have to answer these right in order to get to 100%. But it's also going to know if you're going to game the system. So let's say I click an answer and I click no idea. It already knows that I really didn't know that, even if I guessed it right. So that concept is going to come back to me maybe in an easier way next time. See, now we have check all that apply. So we can go in a lot of different ways and try to practice with this. And it gives us some feedback. If at any point we want to, we can click read about this and we can use the book to help us answer the question, but then you'll have more questions about that because it knows you didn't know it. So the idea is you just start to prove to the system that you understand the questions being asked. Most of you will get through this within 15 minutes. The ones that are having more trouble with reading comprehension might take a little bit longer, and those of you that have maybe taken this class before or had this in high school, you're going to breeze through this maybe in 5 minutes. So don't think you're going to be stuck in here for hours and hours at a time. The idea is that this will give you the points for reading the assignment. I'm going to go back to Connect now. And the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is what you do if you are having tech support or tech issues. I'm going to quick play a little PowerPoint for you guys about that. So I always tell students, your instructor is absolutely not tech support. Professor Baber is not here to hear about why you couldn't register, what happened. We have our own people for that. And that's not to be rude, it's just we have a really good team that does that. So don't even come to him unless you have a ticket number that you've already called this number. So I suggest everyone take a few minutes right now and just plug this number into your phone. It's 1-800-331-5094. And I'm just going to leave this on the screen for a second so you can either write it down or put it in your cell phone. Okay. So CXG, or Customer Experience Group, is really great. They can help you with a lot of different things. They can help you with registration problems, tech issues, even how-tos. So if you're having a hard time with SmartBook or you have a question about it, a lot of times they can answer your question. And it's always best to call them and not email them. Here's why. Let's say you find, I'm not even going to put the email address on here, but let's say you find their email address. You write them that you have an issue. They have to write you back with a question. Now we're talking about something that could take potentially an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3 days to answer something that if you got someone live on the phone, they could help you because you're in front of your computer, they're in front of their computer, they can troubleshoot with you, and most cases are solved within 10 minutes by a phone call. Absolutely always call. Save your ticket number. Your ticket number is like a receipt from you calling. It's an 8-digit number, and this helps to ensure that you're getting the best service possible. So let's say you call and they can't solve your issue. This rarely happens, but it does happen from time to time. At that point, you can give that ticket number to Professor Baber, and then he can give it to me and I can escalate that issue. Typically, I can get it solved within 24 hours. So I'm gonna go back to that first screen just in case any of you didn't write down the number, and just make sure you're calling tech support first. Don't go to Professor Baber with any questions. Come to Customer Experience Group, grab your ticket number if you need it, and then give it to him, and then he can give it to me. I hope you all have a great semester. I hope SmartBook really helps you in this class, and you use it as a great study tool, and have a wonderful semester. Good luck. Bye.